We're on time today. Isn't that cool? We finally figured out all the settings and we're getting kind of a flow of this. Does it look like I am in an ocean of equipment? It's because I am. I'm Renee and Gil's behind the camera, but today he's going to be in front of the camera with us and we're going to talk about all the tools you need to start a podcast or to become a YouTuber. Because so many times you have all these questions about things you want to know, or what do you need and what do you have to have, and we're going to show you from the lowest end of the budget, we've started with your phone, to you have a little bit more money and you want to start. So we're going to show you from the lowest level, medium, to where we are now. And so don't think that we bought all of this stuff in a day, because we didn't. We've accumulated all of these items over probably I would say about 3 years. We've accumulated all of this equipment. And so I want to show you, I'm going to start off with what I have on today. I love to wear like leggings, but I don't like for my bottom to show. So this is a really cool like hoodie type dress. You can actually wear this as a dress. I really like it. It's comfortable. It's washer friendly. It has a hood with it, and underneath it I have on the Adidas ribbed sports bra and leggings. And I also have on some gym shoes by Steve Madden that I saw my daughter with. And when I saw them, I really wanted them, but I was being cheap. So I broke down, and they're really comfortable. I've probably had these since December, and they've done really, really well with not looking in your life.
Oh, whoa, that just scared me. All right, hey guys, this is Gil from the Rich Relationship Refuge, and Renee has asked me to come in front of the camera for a change because I'm usually behind the camera, as you guys know, shooting the videos and the pictures and audio and all that kind of stuff. But I wanted to actually just come in front just to talk about some of the stuff we actually use for our podcast and some of the videos and things like that, because we get a lot of questions and it can be intimidating. Some people are just getting into this and you may not know what to start out with. If we can help you, we definitely want to do that. So that's what we're doing today. And I'm going to show you how to do a crawl, walk, run type of idea when it comes to podcasting. I talked a little bit already about the crawl phase, which is your phone, the walk phase, which is your Zoom, and I'm going to get to the run phase, which is with a mixer. But this is actually what we started out with Zoom. So you can actually do this, the Zoom H5, you can actually use this to record. But then if you want to step up your game a little bit, then you can say, well, I'm going to need external mics. There are hundreds of mics that you can get, from ranging from very, very small, like we had and we showed you already with the lavalier mics that just plugs into your cell phone or anything like that. Now we want to go a little bit higher and go with an actual mic that connects to that XLR cable that I talked about already. The XLR cable is going to work with these types of mics. You have condenser mics, you got dynamic mics. There's a lot of stuff out there that you can do some research on to figure out which one you want. Again, you remember I said I like to keep things really, really simple, really, really easy, because I just didn't know anything when I got started. So what I did was, after the research I did, I started out with this mic right here. This is called a Samson QU2. Samson QU2. It's about 60 bucks, maybe between 50 and 60. You may be able to find it on sale on Amazon or wherever. I actually always try to find equipment used first, because people start things and you can get a higher quality microphone for a cheaper price.
And they have used things on Amazon too.
So,
did you know that?
Got it on Amazon? Yeah, you can buy it used, that somebody bought it, returned it, and didn't like it. Well, this is an excellent starter mic. Actually, you can probably use this mic your entire time. If you really don't have a lot to invest right now at the very beginning, low price point, low barrier to entry, 60 bucks, you buy that, get started, or buy it used even cheaper. Buy your XLR cables that you actually have between 10 and up, depending on how long you want the cables to be. I already told you that you want it to be 6 feet up to, I would say, no more than 25. Right. After that, you probably are shooting videos, and you can use wireless mics, and I'll show you that here because we actually use those as well. Well, this actually plugs into the bottom of here, and this actually plugs in just like that. You hear a little click, it clicks in, locks in, and then on the other end, whatever your recording device is, your mixer board or your Zoom H5, that actually just plugs in right there. And guess what? You're ready to go.
Wonderful.
This is all you need. Hit record and go here. This has an on and off. You probably heard me say I like doing things that have dual function, because you get more bang for your buck if you buy things that actually can serve two purposes. The other purpose reason why I like this mic is it actually can unhook here, but you also got a cord for a USB that actually plugs into your computer. It has an on-off switch, so you can use this on your computer as well if you're doing meetings and stuff like that. So you can have one mic for podcasting, one mic for your computers, dual purpose. I use a mic like this for my conference calls and things that I do in my day job because it sounds better than anything else on any little wireless, not wireless camera, but computer camera or computer camera on your phone, on your camera that you actually have. This mic will sound definitely better, and I have a really good camera that we use for conference calls and things like that. I think it's called a Logitech C920, Logitech C920 camera for the computer. But I actually use this because the mic sounds so much better. So I have that. So you connect those two, buy a little stand. This is about maybe 10 or 15 bucks. That plugs into here. If you're by yourself and you're gonna do your podcast, you do it that way, or plug it straight into your computer. You can do that as well. Guess what? You're ready to go. So it's sitting up right now. This is one stand. We have multiple stands depending on the environment that you're going to be doing recording. If you're sitting at a desk and you're by yourself, this will work fine. The next step is, you'll notice here, I have a taller mic. This is a little bit metal. It's metal on the base, so it actually is more sturdy. You can put a heavier mic, which we have. And then you have a shock mount for your mic. So sometimes when you're sitting there recording, sometimes things bang, you notice that the mic jumps a little bit, and that's going to reverberate and give sound into your podcast. You don't want to do that. You don't want, unless you intentionally bang it on the table and stuff like that, but you don't want it to happen because that sound is going to transfer into your podcast. This prevents that sometimes, so I can bang the table like that and the mic doesn't move. That's what these little springs inside of here, I pull that out. You notice it has like a little trap in here. It's these little rubber bands. And what that does is it suspends the mic. It suspends the mic so you don't get that bouncing noise from the transferring from the table through the mic stand to your microphone. That's what that prevents. These are the kind of little things that people didn't tell us that I just figured it out after doing a little bit of research. So you buy that. This little stand actually maybe runs you maybe between about 10 bucks, you know, maybe a little bit more. And this on top, you know, you have a microphone that has, it comes just like that, just like you see on people karaoke and things like that. Well, this little mic not only looks cool, but it actually has a purpose. It's for pops. It's to get rid of what's called plosives. When you have P words and puff and things like that, that actually disperses it so you don't hear that loud P sound in the microphone. So when you see that, that's the purpose of it. So if you already knew that, that's just one of your little lessons.
Free tips.
So this is just a universal kind of cover. It covers over the top and you're good to go. And these are very transfer. I have tons of these laying around because they tear, they rip, and they get old. This actually just transfer right into just push it through, just like rubber bands.
Wow, that's so
and it's
cool.
done. So that is your stand. The next stand I want to show you, and a better mic I want to show you, is this one. This is actually, the mic is called a pod mic, and it actually goes to our mixer board, and I'll tell you a little about that in a minute. But this is actually a tabletop mount arm, boom arm. They call it a boom arm or a mic stand or a mic arm, whatever you want to call it. I'll show you a couple other arms that actually goes with this. As you get up in price, this microphone is about $100. It's a little bit, it's great. This is professional grade stuff. You can actually use this for here on out, no matter how long you podcast. If you never upgrade ever again, this will take you that far. I have even more expensive mics that we have, but this is all we ever use now in our podcast up until this day. So if you listen to the podcast and here's, we're talking on these. When we have guests, I'm probably using these, but I balance it out with Audacity. That's my podcast choice as far as editing the audio files.
And we love Buzzsprout. That's our platform.
Yeah, that's the platform, but the actual editing that I do with the audio files is Audacity. It's a free program, so you can afford free.
Yes.
But this actually, this boom arm, this one is a little bit more flimsy, if I could say it that way. It doesn't mean it's not good. It just means it's not as robust as it needs to be. But you can see it holds this mic, because this mic has some weight. I would say it's probably maybe 1.5 pounds. And I can mount it, you see I got it mounted to the countertop, and it's fine. I can move it up. The things you want to look at is when you move a mic stand, you want it to stay right where you put it. cheaper mic stands, the minute you do this and it starts,
Right.
that means the springs right here are not strong enough to hold the weight of your microphone. So you want to get something that's this range in price. This is by Neewer, Neewer. That's a lot of, I buy a lot of their things because I've had good success with them. I like them. The price points are very conservative, I would say. They do have higher level things, but this actually works. So this microphone boom arm actually works. As you can tell, as I'm moving it around, I use it all the time. I have one on my desk right now that I use for my day-to-day work because it just works. And it costs, again, less than 20 bucks.
Yeah.
So I bought a couple of them. I have probably multiple of them. So we have guests and things like that, depending on the environment we're sitting in. You're gonna notice that you are probably gonna buy multiples. So I would say as a minimum, just buy two.
Right.
As a minimum, buy two, because you're gonna buy one and then you can start and you're like, oh, I wanna interview somebody. And then you got these mixed up stands and then you got another stand I can show you here in a second. It just starts looking kind of ugly because especially if you're gonna do video podcasting, you want it to look clean as well. You want it to look uniform. You can actually buy a little bit more robust mic arm that you can. It's by, I like Rode. You can buy that one. That's about between $65 and $75. You can buy all the stuff used too, because people start and stop. But that will work as well. You see a lot of people use Shure mics, but those work great. I mean, if you want to spend that kind of money on, I didn't think I needed to for the sound. They do. They're top shelf. They're great. But the pod mic is just my choice because it works with my mixer that I'll show you.
We like Rode.
Yeah, I'll show you that here in a second. So that's the boom arm, the mic. We showed you that. The other thing that I want to kind of go into is if you're going to be doing video podcasting, you're going to have a camera.
Could we please explain the difference between video podcasting and podcasting?
Well, they're really, to me, there is no difference. The only difference is you're sitting around listening to somebody have a conversation and it's being recorded. A podcast is actually syndicated and it's actually out on podcast platforms like
it's audio.
It's strictly audio file. The truest podcast from the very beginning was just putting your ears on your walk or your phone or while you're at the gym. You just listen. There was nothing to watch. You just listening. It's called passive listening.
Right.
So people are teaching you things, talking to you things, entertaining you and things like that. There was nothing to look at because sometimes if you're driving or if you're at the gym or you're doing something, doing
or if
chores
you're on a
around
date,
the house, you don't have time to do this and listen. Well, podcast at the very beginning was just audio. So you can just put them in your ears. Like we say in our episode, stick us in your ears and take us wherever you're going. So if you have that passive activity that you're doing, podcasts are for that. Well, it has evolved through social media and things like that. So all they did was turn on a camera, still did the same thing. Now it's a video podcast, which means you can watch people talk at the same time. Now they can take that same file and turn it into a podcast from the video. You just don't have it to watch. You just listen to the audio portion. But that's really just the difference. You know, you have a video. Speaking of video, you're gonna need a camera. This is where the lights and the setting and all those things come into play.
Yeah, this light right
which is
here.
what a lot of people saying.
I'm gonna turn up. This light right here is my favorite.
This is our main key light, is what it's called, and this is
it's amazing.
It's called the EF100.
Yes, I'll let you see
Again, this
it.
light is about $100, and then the softbox that you see on there, the big octagon shaped thing, that's the softbox. That's to take that harsh light, because I can adjust the light on here, and that soft light, I can make it softer or harder or brighter or dimmer based on my surroundings that I have. So right now we're in our kitchen. I got another couple lights on for fill lights and things like that is what it's actually called. But this is my key light. This is what's really lighting up the whole room, really. And I can turn it brighter even if I need it.
And I love it really bright.
You buy that. It's sitting on a mic stand. It's called a C stand, which is a little bit very, very robust. I have these lights behind me. I know I'm taking a little bit of a detour, but since we're talking about lights, this is a Neewer, again, same company as the boom arm. This is an NL660 LED light. It doesn't generate heat. These lights that I purchased don't generate heat, which is what you want to do. So if you think about it, if you're going to be recording for hours and things like that, that heat generates and it's going to get hot, especially if you're in a small space where you want to define the sound and have good quality sound and bright lights. All this stuff heats up. So LED lights generate really no heat at all almost. So I have multiple sizes and I can show you this one. Again, crawl, walk, run. This is where it starts.
Yeah.
The NL660. This is the CN160 Neewer light. This is an LED light. They count it by the amount of bulbs in here. You see that?
Yeah, cool.
So it actually runs by batteries, or you can actually.
I remember
this one runs by battery, and I have multiple of these because these are good accent lights. And you see, it sits on a stand because I do photography as well. So if I need some light to set a scene, I can just turn this on, point it in a different direction. It's on a pivot arm that I can actually adjust it to where I want it to be and things like that. It has a little stand, and all this is collapsible. So I can just do a couple little, it has a hot shoe is what it's called, and that separates it. So that's what that's for. So you can adjust it and you can set it up in odd places and see odd things depending on your lighting that you want to set up. So
now what's this light with the box on it over there?
The reason why I was going to show you that, you notice that we have one without the light, which is the 660. It has what's called barn doors. I took those off because I have soft boxes for those. That's what these lights are. It softens up the light. This actually has that soft box on it. This is one without the soft box. I turn it on, and this actually pivots. You loosen those a couple. You can point it in any direction. Quick tip: if you have a white ceiling, you bounce the light off the ceiling, it'll cast down better light into your room. So that's a good way, a good little quick tip. So that's what this is for. And it has colored panels. It has red, yellow, and white, which is a softer light because this is bright, straight up bright light. So you want to soften it up as you do your shooting, whether it's for video or photography. You want to always have soft light. The reason why this has a soft box on it, and I didn't plug it up because it's going to soften up the light because I don't want to throw light all over the place while we're doing this, but it's just as bright. So that's what this looks like. You're gonna always buy soft boxes. Just get them. You're gonna need them. Trust me. This, they make soft boxes for everything. Look y'all, I even got a soft box for this.
Yeah.
So it's real. This was like maybe $5. You just slap it on here. You'll notice, okay, if I turn it on like this, I'm gonna do a quick test. That's bright.
Whoa.
But if I take this soft box and take it and put it over,
it filters it.
It filters the light and it softens it up. And I got little Velcro straps that I put on here. You know, just like when you want to do a demo, it's always more difficult to do a demo when you want to do it.
Well, you're trying to do it with your hands aren't free.
So you put that little soft box over it. It actually Velcros to the top, like so. And we tighten this up, the stand that it sits on, like that. Boom.
Good deal.
So you see it softens the light up so it's not as harsh as it would be. So that's what the soft box is. So you definitely want to get soft boxes for everything. This is a soft box for this specific light. This is a newer NL660, which means 660 LED lights is in here. This CN160, 160 lights. That's what the numbers identify. Well, this pops out. It has a frame. It just firms up like that. And it becomes my soft box.
Cool.
So it becomes a soft box, and this straps on to the front, just like that one does. I just left one on, one off, just so you can see the difference. Softens it up. So that's your soft boxes. You definitely want to have those. Again, I got soft boxes for everything. Another soft box for this bigger panel light. This is another one. So you notice the sizes. So if I stack them right next to each other, you can see the size difference.
Wow.
So you want to have a variety of lights. You know, yes, they can get up there. Lighting is just as important as audio.
Sound.
It's because, again, that's the key. Soft box, again, this just straps onto it like that, covers it up. So again, that light, so prices, just to give you a quick idea, maybe 10 to 15, maybe 20. Double that to about 30 to 40, 60 to 80, depending, and they even get bigger. Then you get up to this light. So depending on what your price point is and your budget is, you can go from something very small that you may need just to get started, grow a little bit, scale up a little bit, scale up a little bit. You're gonna, and then when you get to that, or you can just say, you know what, I'm just gonna go all in. I know this is what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna go ahead and get what I need to get. Between the C stand and this big soft box, that was about $200 between the two things. So that's everything that you need. So this will be my main key light, our main key light for years to come.
It's my favorite too.
We use it
makes you look amazing.
We kind of keep it set up all the time. So We talked about lighting a little bit. We talked about the mics. We talked about the arms. Well, when you're doing your podcast, you got to be able to, I want to talk one more thing about mics. Now, microphones. Then I'm going to jump back to the cameras. Once you actually have your microphone here and you got your, so I just showed you 3 versions of microphones. I showed you the Boya, which is the corded. If you want to, then you still cord it. You got the XLR on the Q2Us, Samsung's. Well, these are
I love those.
Wireless Go 2 lavalier mics. And the reason why we use these is because when we're at events or we're shooting and I don't want to be carrying microphones with me, I have this in a little bit of case. I have this in my camera bag.
I love it.
You notice that it fits. The batteries last forever. Probably some of the best microphones I've ever worked with thus far, and I've been shooting for a few years now. This actually breaks down, so you got 2 mics and 1 receiver. So you got 2 channels. You can record 2 people. You just basically take this.
You get mic'd up.
Click it like that. Turn this on. Turn this on. You ready to go?
Yeah.
That's it.
I normally wear them on my waist.
And
though,
the reason why I take this, I actually take, this is your receiver. This is my camera. Take my receiver, map it to my camera like that. So now my camera is going to be receiving the sound from that. I have 1 cord that I need. This is my vlogging type camera. I can tell you a little bit about that here in a second. But this is a Sony ZV-1 or ZV-10. ZV-10. Yeah. So plugs into here.
Wow.
Guess what? That's it. I'm mic'd up so I can be up to, I want to say about 50 feet away recording, and it's still going to sound clear as a bell. If Renee's kind of doing something and we need her to walk up to us, the microphone is going to be clear because you don't want to use the mics on your cameras.
Right.
Not very good.
Especially if you can use it from video to audio.
Yeah, it's not very good. So that's what it just, you don't want to do it. So you got the wireless mics on there. This is actually just a tripod that goes with the camera. So you can use this just like I showed you with the DJI vlogging here. You can have a mic here, vlog this way. This is the Sony. Again, I know we talked about, this is all about podcasting, but again, remember I said dual function. I like things that have dual purposes. You can use this to podcast. You can use the camera to podcast. So if you're going to be doing a video podcast, you definitely want to use the camera and have good mics and good audio. And
good lights.
And good lights, and you can record that way. But if you're out and about, if you think about it, this is a whole kit to go. So you got your camera, you got your mics. This is all you need. If you wanted to, this actually has itself. This is all you need right here. Camera's about, this is a little bit more expensive camera. This camera's about $800. Very great camera. Sony ZV-1. You can actually look at it. It's amazing. We use it. So that, and then again, if you don't want to spend that kind of money, you want to step it down a little bit. GoPro.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Hero 7. Yeah, I think they're up to a Hero 10 right now. This is probably one of the most universal cameras you could ever buy. You can buy these used on the used market now, very, very cheap. The technology is still great.
And it's waterproof.
You got to put it in a little cage, but yes, it's waterproof. You can drop it. It's built for all that kind of stuff. It's an action camera. It's a little bit different. It has some of the limitations that, it has a lot of limitations when it comes to focal lengths and zooming in and that kind of stuff, because what you see is what you get. You know, if you see law enforcement, they have cameras on. They're similar to like this. This is just one focal length. You're only going to see one viewpoint. You can do it that way. But this will be a vlogging camera. You know, people vlog with these all the time because they're light, they're portable. You can just literally stick it in your pocket and go. You got your camera. Oh, hold on. Let me, I got to do this quick vlog right quick. Hit this one button. Oh, so like I was saying, I'm doing this tech review and I'm just going to talk to you guys in a little bit. So that's what the tech review is like. You hear the beat? That's how quick it can go.
Wow.
So if you want simplicity and great quality, it records to an SD card. See, it's still on.
Yeah.
You still want to record.
That's cool.
So you want to record or you want something that's simple, it really doesn't get any more simpler than this. And guess what? If you wanted to step up and just do this, you can. Again, dual functions.
Right.
That's what this actually is good for. So you have that. So, mics, we talked about mics, we talked about cameras, we talked about cords, we talked about podcasting. This is another step down camera. Step down camera from this one, believe it or not, it's different. This is a Canon T5i. This is still my primary photography camera. I love it. I mean, yeah, I could go up and buy something more expensive, but I haven't seen a need to do that because I use this primarily for photography. It can support video, but only for about 30 minutes on the card, and it doesn't have audio. It's a couple things that you gotta rig up to get it to shoot video. That's not what it was built for. It was built to take pictures. That's what I like. This camera is really built for video. It doesn't take great photos. It can take good photos, but it's really built for video. So you're gonna have multiple tools doing multiple things. But I found recently, T5i, you can buy used now, run you anywhere from maybe $350 to $500, depending on your price point you want to spend. Tripod, I got multiple tripods. This is my go-to robust, beefed up tripod.
I love that one.
This is it's an Andor, I think it's called Andor, A-N-D-E-O-E-R. Andor. It has a floating head. You can see it pivots and mounts and all that kind of stuff. I use this for, it's collapsible, it's tall, and it grows up to about 5.5, almost 6 feet.
It's really cool.
It can go from tabletop to monopod, which is one of these legs will spin off, and I can just use that with one and just use that to pivot and move if you're doing some fast shooting. The other one, this one was about 60 to 75 bucks, depending on that. But I also always have a very basic, very simple. I love these kind of tripods. This is a one tripod that I just recently got. And the reason why I got it is because of the size, the compactness, and the quick. I love clips. These have knobs that spin.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more cumbersome. But if I know I'm going to be shooting in one place for a long time, I'm going to use that. If I know I need to do something quick, this is what I like to do. So this is a UV size. I think that's what it's called. 35, 40 bucks. Probably one of the best tripods I've ever bought. And guess what? You see, it was on the table.
Wow.
So it collapsed, and you see how quick that pops out. I pop these clips out just that fast. It's got about 12 clips. 12 clips just that fast. Stretch it out. Boom. You see how tall this thing is. You know, I'm a little vertically challenged that people will think I'm not massively tall or anything like that. So,
You're the perfect height.
You know, so, but this is really good because it doesn't have a floating head. It's a very basic tripod. Don't get confused. It's good for basic shooting. It has a flimsy. It's just a little quick shoe. You mount that to the bottom of your camera, lock it in here. But the reason why I like this is because it has so much height on it. You know, depending on what you want to do with it and where you're actually shooting, it actually can grow with your height. It didn't how it always works. You do technology. But it actually grows to about 6.5 feet.
Wow.
So that actually grows up, and so you can still do your basic things with this one. So that's the UV size, again, about $30. Definitely worth the money. We'll buy another one because I have multiple tripods around the house because we're shooting in multiple places. And the last two things I want to talk about, this is just three things. Lavalier mics, again, that will go with your Zoom H5. A little bit more expensive, about $60, you know, but they actually come in two. This one actually connects. These are called Movi 120s.
And Gil keeps all of his stuff in the boxes the way they came.
You gotta take care of your stuff. So this actually is an XLR attachment that plugs into a lavalier mic. So that's why I got these. We were using these at one point.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was a lot better because we didn't have to do this. We could just be a little bit more free. You have to be mindful though, when you're talking, the mic stays here. If your head's over here, it's gonna your sound. So you always got to be mic conscious of your sound and where you're actually speaking to. So that's that. So those are the movies. And we're going to have all this stuff is listed on our website. You can see all this. Again, it goes into details. You can look at reviews and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to talk about 3 more things and then I'm done. Podcasting, when you're actually doing your podcasting, you're going to be, again, sitting at the tabletop. You got your boom arm. I probably should have talked about this before, but I'm just going to mention it now. This is actually a stand for sitting. So if you're sitting and you notice you're sitting here, you've probably seen this on television where people are sitting there at a table or in some lounge chairs and they got the mic, but then they got an arm that extends out like that. A couple things around. Extends out like that. And so what happens is, this is actually good. So if I'm sitting at a chair, I want the chair to be I don't want the mic to be right in my face, you know, so I can just drop it down here a little bit. I brought my other pod mic out, and this actually just screws on the end.
That's so cool.
You screw it on to the end. I'm trying to demo it for you again. We're gonna see how it goes. It looks like it's going. So there.
Wow, that's so
and
cool.
then I adjust it a little bit here because it has a lot of weight. Again,
Do you have two of those?
Yes.
That's so cool.
So we do this and balance it out. So if you're sitting there talking, that's what it looks
Wow.
like. So I'm talking and things like that. You people see, I can just adjust it and things like that. This is again about $30 to $40. This one is made out of metal. So you can buy, depending on how much you want to spend, you can go good, or you can go better, or you can go best. If good will get you there, stick with good. If you got the money and you want to be a little bit more polished, and you can go with the better.
Right.
But if you got some real cash, go ahead and go with the best. You know,
Right.
you can find it out there on Amazon and on all the other things, different brands, they're all pretty universal. This one is by Samsung. I think it was about $30. It comes with a couple more accessories. Like you notice here, it has another mic that I can just clip on, like something like this one. It just stays here on the mic stand. This one you'll see it a lot from musicians. So if they're street performers and things like that, they may have something like this. They'll stand it up, and this is telescopic. So this actually can drop down and actually and it can grow.
Wow.
So you see that, I just clip it. So now, if I'm on the street sign, performing or whatever, I just adjust it a little bit. Remember, dual function, dual use.
And we like things that are portable because most of our things that we do are portable.
So if you're out performing and you're standing there, singing, talking, doing spoken word or things like that, buy that and it collapses down. You've seen how small it was and it's laying on the table. So you think about that. You got your camera, you got your mics, you got your microphone. You can do it this way. You got your XLR cable going into your Zoom. You can do this anywhere. That's what the good part about it. It can be mobile. So you got that mic, and then the last thing, well, I said I was gonna talk about two things. This is just a better mic stand, right there. This is probably
my favorite. Yay!
This is our
applause.
This is our mix board. So what we currently do our podcast on right now, this is a Rodecaster Pro. This is an older version. This is version 1. They've already come out with a version 2. This one is great. I think you can get this now anywhere. You can probably find it on the used market between 500, between 500 and maybe up, depending on. I keep mine in a case. The reason why this is good now, this is where we currently are at. So this is the run phase. This will last you a long time. You buy this, the newer ones, I think the brand new one that's out, I think it's about $1,000. So you can get it cheaper than that. This is a 4-channel mixer invert. It does everything. You can hook your cell phone to it. You got 4 channels for your XLRs, so you can do this with 4 people. It has a built-in soundboard, so I can have pre-recorded. I have our pre-recorded intro and outro already programmed on here. So when you're on the radio and you listen to the radio and you hear people talking and they say ha 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 laughing, or you hear clapping and things like that, that's what these buttons are already pre-programmed and set for. You can do the research. Again, it's the Rodecaster Pro. You can do the research on it, see some demos, and they can show you what it actually can do. It's Bluetooth capable. You can connect your cell phone to it at the same time and bring people into your interview. We've done it that way. We've done this for conferences. I use this all the time. So 4 channels. Right there, you got the audio. This is for your cell phone. This is for an external source. Like if you want to bring some external music in, you connect it to a USB-C. And this is for Bluetooth. So you can have your phone and another person via Bluetooth here. And all this can be monitored and tracked and recorded. And it has an internal recorder. So this, just like that Zoom H5 that I talked about that has that SD card, well, this has an SD card as well, right in the back.
Wow.
That little bitty tiny card.
Wow.
Another Extreme, another SanDisk, you can use that. This is where all the podcasts get recorded to. Again, all 100 episodes are still on here. I have it on backup storage, but all of them are right here on that little bitty card. So you could take this board, and this is all digitized. I don't have it plugged up right now, but all this is great LED. It's touch censored and all that kind of stuff. So you have this. It's great. It has effects in it. You can do a lot of editing. Actually, you can actually have the capability to edit at the same time as you're doing your recording.
Yes.
We got it down to that part, so we'll do some editing while the show is actually going on. I mean, it's going to take practice to get there, but once you get there, it cuts down on your editing and posting time. So once you do that, your workflow will increase in speed with the tools. So better tools means you're going to increase your workflow and get things done a lot faster, a lot quicker, a lot more polished, a lot more
Without
professional.
compromising the quality.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. You always want to have quality between your lights, your sound, your mic. It's just something that you're just going to have to grow into. It's not an overnight thing unless you already have experience in this. We didn't. This is just after about 3 years of really just researching and studying and
practicing
and using it and putting your stuff out there. Once you actually put it out there, you're going to get better at it. Your first beginning, we go back and listen to some of the things you're like, oh my God. But now
you can't expect to be good at something you're doing for the first time. You're gonna suck.
You constantly are getting better. So I think I covered everything, the vast majority of things. By all means, you can reach out to us, richrelationshiprefuge.com. And you can reach out to us. You can call us. You can check out our YouTube channel. We got videos out there. This is the video we're going to put out there so you can see a quick review of the stuff that we use. This is what we're using right now. So if you see anything that we put out, whether it's audio, video, pictures, it's come from something that I've just shown you here. You know, yeah. And just to kind of give you a tally of everything, I would say out of everything, Renee asked me this about how much gear and equipment that we have. If I had to tally it up, because this is a business for us and expenses and all that kind of stuff, you're looking at about between $35,000 and $4,000 worth of stuff total. Because again, I buy things that are dual function. I only buy things when I need to, and I use it until it breaks. So use it. And if you can buy things used, buy it used. You know, new is great, but used works just as fine. Once you get it out the box and throw the box away, nobody knows when you bought it, whether it's new or used. As long as it works, check it all out. Get your equipment, get things set up. We're here to help you if you need to. We'll share with you what we need, what we know, and we'll help you get your stuff up and running, whether it's a podcast, a video, lighting, photography. Give us a call, reach out to us, and we'll help you out. Again, Gil Renée from Rich Relationship Refuge. Renee behind the camera. Thanks, babe. And we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.